so much for being here today. We are so excited to have you in our new home. This has been a long time coming, and if you look around at the board members, we are all smiling so big today. And just thank you so much for being here. We are honored to be part of the Community Resource Center. We started talking about this a few years ago, and I don't think as a board member we really appreciated the huge impact that this facility was going to have on our community and the impact that we could be a part of. And as the process has gone and seeing this go from being the food bank to being under construction to finally being our own, it is so exciting for us and the difference that we're going to be able to make through it. And I know some of the board members have been around for a while. If you've been part of Shoes and Clothes for Kids, I've been part of Shoes and Clothes for Kids for over 20 years. And I will tell you, this is the most exciting time that I've been a part of it. We've had a lot of great moments over the years, but knowing that from here we're going to be able to grow and have a better impact on our community, be able to serve more families and teachers, and not just serve them, but to serve them in a better, more efficient way. It's a great place for our staff and volunteers to be a part of. There's just so many great things that are going to come out of being in this new home for us. And for those that have been around, we were founded over 50 years ago and started by Maurice Sayer giving out shoes from the trunk of his car. And when you think about that visual of a trunk of a car, just driving around trying to help kids to where we are today, our hope is that we've made those founders proud of where we've taken the organization. And over the past year, not only did we move to a new home, but we also have a new executive director. And we are so excited to have Monica Lloyd leading our organization. Monica has provided tremendous leadership for our volunteers and our staff, but also, as anyone who has moved knows, it is a huge project and an undertaking. And moving an organization while still providing the services, we didn't really shut down for 6 months. We were still making sure that we were helping teachers and families through that time. So Monica's leadership has been amazing in the past year, and we are so grateful to her. And I'm going to hand it off to her for some more words. But thank you so much for being part of our great opening.
Recognizing some special people to Shoes and Clothes for Kids, and we'll get started. First, I'm going to start with our founders. Some of them are here with us today and some aren't, but we are extremely appreciative for everything they've done for us. The Fine family. There they are. Thank you so much. Over there, and Paulette and Denise. And I'm sorry that couldn't be with us today, but he's been extremely helpful. Maurice Sayer and Vic Gelb are no longer with us, but they were, again, extremely helpful. Our Search and Move Committee. I have been here for 14 years, but I've been told by Dennis Rose that every single year there's been a move committee. They've talked about where can we move, where's space. We've never found a space that even came close to the food bank. So thank you so much for Scott definitely running through that punch list and that itemized invoice, telling us what we needed and what we didn't need. And then our executive committee who approved the move and the expense. Thank you so much. Our board chair, Kelly Rudolph, thank you. You've been around for so long, but your support has been great for me, but the organization as well. And our board members, do we have board members stand? Board members, life members, move committee. When we did our first site visit here, everybody, we were in this big circle, and just one by one, they said, we have to make this work. We have to figure out how to make this work. And we figured it out. 2 years later, thank you. Kevin Kearney, who couldn't be here with us today, but he and Aramark donated lunch, so don't forget to get lunch when you leave today. Our capital funders, we definitely couldn't have done it without them. Santa Maria Miller Foundation, the Cleveland Foundation, Fine Family for your ongoing support, and the George and Herbert Stilo Foundation, Hershey Foundation, sorry about that. Thank you, Mike Pulisic, for coming today and your support. He's our councilman. When someone saw his name on the list, they said, "Who's he?" I said, "He's our councilman." And then last but definitely not least, the food bank leadership. Kristen, Tiffany, Jess Morgan, who couldn't be here. You all are great to work with, great collaborators. A lot of times people say they want to collaborate, but they really don't because it's the buzzword, but they actually want to collaborate. Thank you so much. We'll ask Kristen to come up for some remarks.
Thank you. Well, thank you and congratulations. This day, as has been said, has been a long time coming, and I just could not be more excited. Now, if I had more than 5 minutes, I could tell you the very long story of how this place came together. But I'll summarize by saying that back in 2018, we at the food bank, our board knew that we needed to build more capacity over time to serve more people. Ultimately, we ended up building a new partner distribution hub, just 5 minutes from here on Coit Road, but we wanted to make sure that this space could be used for something wonderful. And so I think the first call I made was to Shoes and Clothes for Kids, to say if we decided to keep that facility on South Waterloo Road and work together with other nonprofits, what would you think of this crazy idea? And Shoes and Clothes for Kids said, absolutely. And so, here we are. The vision for this community resource center is not only to address hunger today by making sure that more people have access to nutritious food, and we're doing that. I hope some of you will take a tour. Down at the other end of our facility is a beautiful choice food pantry that looks like a supermarket, where people who are 200% of poverty or below can push a shopping cart and select healthy food they need for their family. But as exciting, and maybe even more exciting, is that we've got 15 other nonprofit agencies collaborating, co-located here on site to address the underlying issues of poverty. And while we, early on, were talking, in addition to Shoes and Clothes for Kids, we were talking to employment agencies and housing agencies and healthcare. Right across the hall is Metro Health with a new federally qualified healthcare clinic that can serve this entire neighborhood, as well as folks who come in to the food pantry and are in need of health support. And we also were surveying our neighbors to find out what our neighbors needed in a space like this. And after hearing from more than 10,000 neighbors, sure enough, we heard that Shoes and Clothes and other supplies were there. So we knew this was a great idea. Our neighbors told us it was a great idea. And working with Shoes and Clothes for Kids, your amazing team, your wonderful board, has just been an absolute dream come true. So we're excited that this space is official, that you're formally having a grand opening. It looks absolutely beautiful. And we look forward to continuing to work with you well into the future. So thanks and congratulations. And while I'm up here, I want to give a little shout to Tiffany Scruggs. She's the executive director. Sam, Nikki, where are you? There we go, over here. Raise your hands. We're on site every day. I'm trying to make sure that all our neighbors who visit have wonderful services available, including services from Shoes and Clothes for Kids. So thank you all. And now I'll turn it over to a wonderful community leader, a dear friend, someone who's given us a lot of advice along the way, Tom Gill, head of Urban Community School.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for being here. I want to quickly acknowledge Aaron Gilbride and Chris Tipton from my team who are here from Urban Community School, their boots on the ground for this partnership. I've been at Urban for 14 years. We're over on the west side, West 48th in Lorraine, serve about 750 kids from 6 weeks through 8th grade. And I was thinking a little bit about this weekend, and 14 years of being in this work, I have a lot of kid stories. But actually, from a mission perspective, I wanted to talk about a teacher today. I'm the son of a CMSD teacher. Obviously, I work in education. So this is probably 10 years ago. I was walking out with a teacher who was just spent, a really good teacher, who was having some challenges, just being a teacher, right? Helping kids to learn and do all the things. And it quickly became apparent that she had just become so overwhelmed with all the things that were outside of her control in the classroom, right? All the impacts of poverty that we talk about, healthcare, lack of access to uniforms and feeling dignified as a student, high quality after school programs, tutoring when it's needed, mental health care now is so critical post-pandemic, even more so than it has been. So all these different things, and I could just tell she felt, this big in the context of that work. And I think any of us who have been in this, whether in the nonprofit world or in the education space, know what that feels like. There are times when the needs in this community feel so overwhelming, and no matter how long we've been in it or how good at it we think we may be, we just have those moments when it is hard to grasp the mission. And you just don't quite feel like you're up to meeting the moment of what that kid needs or what that group of kids needs or what a community needs, whatever it is. And I knew in that conversation that she was right about a lot of things. The school was never going to be able to afford primary care for every kid that needed it. We were never going to hire a dentist. We couldn't afford to outfit 750 kids with clothes. I have two sons that are 8 and 5. The amount of laundry and holes in the pants is it'd be impossible to do that for 750 kids as a school. We weren't the experts that we needed to be at aftercare. And so you get to that point and you realize that the only possible way to start to tackle some of these really big issues is to do it in partnership. That's it. And one of the beautiful things about this community is that there are a lot of people who want to help. And if you can be an organization or a nonprofit, to Monica's point, that actually is willing to partner, that actually is willing to collaborate, that can put the needs of the community above our own nonprofit egos and even above our own commitments at times, to say, you know what, the greater good and the greater need is to try and do more. None of us as a nonprofit island are going to be able to do everything that needs to happen. So let's figure out how to work with other groups. When we went down that path, now we have Metro Health on campus and food bank, a whole suite of counseling services, child care. We've gone with this model because I don't think there's a better way to do it. Choosing Clothes for Kids was also, to Kristen's point, basically first on the list. This is so critical for a kid to come to school, right? Who may already not want to come to school because they're behind or because they haven't had a great experience socially or they're trying to figure their way through middle school, whatever it is. If they don't have a clean uniform, a set of supplies, to feel like they're a part of the community, that they fit in, that they have dignity, they may not come. And we know what happens when kids don't come to school, right? It doesn't end well. And so this, as a piece of what we do at Urban, and I know so many other schools around, is just really critical. And I don't miss that freight elevator at the building of 55th trying to find you, right? Yep. This is work that gives kids dignity. And it's an organization that deserves that same level of dignity. And this is a space that they deserve. It's a space that is acceptable for the incredible work that Choosing Clothes for Kids gives. And I just can't think of a better example of an organization that provides dignity to so many, to have their own dignified space, and to be in a place with other partners that this work will add up. 1 + 1 can be 3. Food Bank has led this. Choosing Clothes for Kids, and all of other organizations are a part of it. And it's just such a pleasure to be here and to acknowledge the work that you all do, and to thank you for what you're going to make happen in this building.
Look great today. Almost as good as the new warehouse here. All right, thank you so much, Tom, for your beautiful message. We appreciate your partnership with us and your dedication to the students and families of Urban Community Schools. For those of you who have not met me yet, I am Melissa Brown. I am on the Shoes and Clothes for Kids Associate Board, and I'm our chair for our annual Socks in the City Drive. So be prepared at the end of the year when you start to see socks coming up on your social media and your emails and in your mailing boxes. So let's talk a little bit about our move to the Community Resource Center. It's not all about having this fancy new space, although like I said, look at it. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm excited about it. It represents so much for us. It's the first time in over 55 years we have a facility that meets the needs of all that we serve, and all who we serve. It allows us to collaborate with the partner organizations co-located in this innovative center, and returns us to our roots of providing direct service, which is a huge ordeal. It's a big deal, so check out our direct service stuff over here. But before we get into this, I want everybody to take a moment to reflect. When was the first time you engaged with Shoes and Clothes for Kids? When was the first time you heard of Shoes and Clothes for Kids? Think about it. All right. For me, the first time I ever engaged with Shoes and Clothes for Kids, or even heard of them, I was at a different nonprofit, where I went and I decided that we were going to raise funds for Shoes and Clothes for Kids. So, little did I know that I would be 7 years later still doing fundraising activities and have done numerous volunteer hours with Shoes and Clothes for Kids, serving on the chair of Socks in the City, along with other things that's out there, along with other events that are coming up soon. So, everybody else have a similar story about that? So with all these different things that have happened throughout the years, it has been amazing to watch this organization grow and thrive. And I can't wait to see where we continue to go to this day. So with that, it is now time for our ribbon cutting. So as I say your name, please join me up here in the front. You will also be put into a specific order, so be prepared. Let's see how well you all do. And also please use your scissors wisely. Scissors, hold them down, handles up. Please. No injuries on my